Doug Garner. I'm the coach of wheelchair basketball here at University of Texas Arlington, and I want to welcome you to 5 Minutes of Wheelchair Basketball. This is something we want to start to help get the word out about training wheelchair basketball, learning more about the sport of wheelchair basketball for coaches and athletes, and hopefully help spread some knowledge about the sport to our junior programs and community programs that don't have access to a lot of this information. So what we're going to talk today about is how to use drills. Everybody has a lot of drills, and everybody has access to the internet to get a lot of drills on the internet for able-bodied people. But I'm going to talk about some things that we focus on when we use drills in our warm-ups and our practices. Okay, so what we're doing here is we're doing a drill called 5-man weave, and it's a warm-up drill that we use just to get going before practice. And if you watch, we'll have 5 guys on the end. They'll do a 5-man weave down the floor. The passer and the shooter get back to defense, and the other 3 come in a 3-on-2. So here we are starting the weave, going down the floor. And now the shooter and passer get back, and the other 3 come back on offense. So a few things to talk about instead of not just doing this drill, and they're getting started, and I'm hoping it'll get a little sharper along the way. But this is the use of drills is a good time to find your focus points. And so before we started, we talked in the huddle about what our focus points would be. One is passing. Turnovers kill. So we want to focus on passing for sure. We also talked about focusing on our lanes and keeping our spacing in offense so that we have a good 3-on-2 and we can take advantage of the number situations. Another thing that I think is really important is we talked about sequential thinking and what next, what next, what next. So it's not just active thinking about what you're doing, but it's proactive thinking about what's next. What do I do after I do this? Where do I go after I do this? Transitioning from defense to offense and offense to defense. So in doing the drill, you have to constantly remind your athletes, what are you thinking about right now? One thing that I want all our athletes thinking about is using this as a way to work their speed. They should be, when they're pushing down the floor without the ball, they should be thinking about their stroke technique. They should be thinking about how they're pushing, where their hands are, their recovery from the bottom of their push to the top of their push, how they're generating power, how they're using their body for agility to turn their chairs. Those are all little focus points that they can use to continue their improvement in everything they do. And so, as you think about this, that's a lot of information. They're thinking about passing, they're thinking about catching, they're thinking about proactive thinking, they're thinking about transitioning. So you talk to your athletes and you just make sure that they have 1 or 2 little things that they're focusing on each time down the floor. At some levels, they just want to focus on finishing their layups. Another thing we do to make this drill a little more game-like is, as you watch, these guys will go down in the weave, then they'll come back in the 3-on-2. So now we got the group at the other end. There's a good example of Jorge getting down there and making the offense think. All right, now when they get to the 3-point line, the other team goes. You don't have a 3-on-2 forever in a game, so you've got to make sure that you work it within a game situation because the other team's going to have a man back very soon. So what we found when we first started doing this, if they waited until the ball went in, they would have 3, 4, 5 passes if we had good defense. So we had the other team coming in, so they had to really be smart about their 3-on-2, stay in their lanes, find their spaces, and take the first shot that they could get, which is a lot more game-like. So that's a lot of information. It's a lot of things to think about, but I hope it will give you some information on how you can help focus your athletes to get the most out of the drills that you use in your practice.